We have a full car right now. Car Con Carne, live at Wolfie's on Peterson Avenue on the far north side. Next to me, the iconic, the super talented, the musical genius, the artistic genius, Jon Langford. Jon freaking Langford. He's a Waco. He's a Mekon. He's sitting right there. In the back seat, I have Nicole Bloomsmith. I also have Carmine Grisolia.
Yeah,
yes.
really good.
Very good.
Grisolia. Those two are starring in the brand new performance play musical Take Me that's opening at Strawdog when?
On today.
May 20. Is
May
our
20th.
Official, is
Official
our official
opening's
open.
May 20, but there's bits. They've already started doing it.
Yeah, we've started
didn't know.
previews.
Oh,
Crazy.
We told you.
well, Jon Langford over there. I'm going to have
We
you
didn't
talking
want
to
you
the
to
mic,
come
Jon.
and drink all the beer, John.
Jon is a co-creator of this, and he is the composer, naturally, of the music you hear in Take Me. And as a preview, if you want to get a sense of what you'll see at Strawdog, I thought you would perform a song or two in the car from the show. This is probably the best way to prepare for a live performance is to do it in a Mazda.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
especially with the choreography.
exactly. Speaking of which, Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Really, maybe 15 minutes from where we are right now, 1015 Chicago Avenue, in between Maine and Dempster. The car we're in is straight off the lot at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Love the service there. I love the cars. I've been driving around a Mazda CX-9 for the past couple months, really. The safety features, the sound. I feel like I'm driving in luxury when I'm behind the wheel of that. But go take a test drive. Autobarn Mazda of Evanston.
It feels like a recording studio.
Yeah, wait till you hear
Right?
the
Do
acoustics.
they all come like this, or do you customize?
Oh, they all do. Every car off the lot
Has
is like a
microphones?
yes, outfitted with microphones, hard drive
and a
recorders.
guitar just sitting here.
Oh yeah, standard. It all comes standard. You wouldn't believe the stuff you can get in a Mazda these days. Acoustic guitars, microphones,
Rock stars.
XLR cables, a Mekon, whatever you need. All right, are you all ready?
Yeah,
All right, so at some point we're going to eat, right?
I
sure.
hope so, yeah.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
That was the deal, wasn't it?
It was the deal, but you have to sing for your supper. That was part of the deal.
Okay.
I was in a show once called Sing for Your Supper. It was about the WPA.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a show now called Take Me. And before we learn about what it's all about and what some general story points, why don't you play a song from it? Jon, why don't you explain what the song is?
This is the first song of the second act, and I mean, Mark Guarino had the idea for this one. We did a play together before, me and Mark, where he took my songs and made a play out of it. This one, he wrote a story, then I had to write songs to fit his story. So this is uncharted territory for me. And he sent me a little paragraph saying what he wanted, and he wanted a song about somebody building, possibly Shelley in the back.
Hang on, I'm going to reach over here. So I'll make sure I'm picking you up.
Somebody building a theme park to attract aliens. I believe that's what it's about.
All right.
And it has sort of, it's got to be perfect. And it's about making something that's wonderful and perfect and fulfills a purpose.
All right, and this song is called?
So Beautiful, Words Cannot Describe.
All right, here we go. We're live in a Mazda on Peterson.
Gotta take this world apart and start again. Take each piece and work out what it does. Clean and grease the parts of this machine. The boiling core beneath the currents up above. So beautiful, words cannot describe. Invent the wheel and something else again. Put it back together in our own way. Remake, remodel, rearrange. A music box I wind up and it plays. So beautiful, words words cannot describe. The music of the sphere so sweet and clear, rotating on its axis once a day, moving round the sun once in a year, tilting into seasons when I say, so beautiful our words cannot describe. A music box I wind up and it plays, compliant to my plan and my design. So beautiful words cannot describe. Buy a ticket, come and wait in line.
That was fantastic. So, John,
Sounds
you wrote
better in
the-
a car, doesn't it? Really?
It does. You wrote this song. How does it feel like to have those two voices turned on that?
Well, I went the other day and they did an a cappella version with not just these two voices, but about 6 or 7 other people, and there was actions that went with it as well, and it was just amazing. I was blown away.
Oh, I'm sure as a songwriter, just seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fabulous when other people cover your songs or record your songs. But I knew that was going to happen with this because it was written for these people to sing it. But what they actually did with it was way beyond the initial idea.
And Nicole and Carmine, knowing that it's Jon Langford doing the songwriting, I'm sure you.
And no pressure.
Right. That was my question.
There's
Did
no
you feel
pressure.
there's
I
a
brought-
little
I
pressure?
brought
It
you
was
beer
actually really
and everything.
exciting when
It's
you
true.
came and said, because
Yeah.
I remember that night you came, it was like, we weren't even in tech yet, but you came and I was like, I'm so glad you're here. We have no musicians tonight. And I felt kind
Yeah,
of
that
bad
was
because I
a
was like,
good
you're
night.
not, and I'm so glad that
No,
you
I
felt
loved
that
it.
way.
I loved it.
So how long ago, John? You mentioned Mark Guarino. You co-wrote this with him, put this together. How long ago were those seeds planted?
We started. He had an idea, and we didn't know where it was going to go, or if anyone would be interested. So we decided to kind of work out the first few scenes and what the songs might be for that, and then we just talked a lot about the idea and what direction the songs might go in, and we liked the idea of kind of popular radio ballads and stuff that might have been on the radio in the sort of 50s and early 60s, and I don't know, but that was kind of the vague conversation we had about it.
But how
And,
long ago was that? Was that a couple years
That's
ago?
like 3 years ago, I think.
Okay.
I mean, these things take a long time.
I'm sure. And you're also pulled into other creative directions
I am.
in the meantime. So was there a lot of in-person working on this, or was it done like over email, or were you Skyping as you were working on this together?
We did do like workshops at different times where we sort of went at it quite intently. But I think most of the best songs were when Mark would say, we need another song here that drives along the action of the play. He wanted to use some songs of mine that already existed, but we decided we would keep trying to make the songs, rather than being interludes, actually have more to do with the narrative. So that
Was that a fun challenge for you?
yeah, it's amazing. I've never done anything like that before in my life. Normally I just write down anything that comes into my head
Right.
and that's it. But Mark, would have a paragraph of things, references and things he wanted, and then where it fell in the play and what he wanted it to achieve. And then I would sort of run off and scratch them in together and send it to him, and he would say, no, that's rubbish.
And
Go
again,
back, go back again.
I really want to hear some of the stuff
The
that was
rubbish?
rubbish.
Yeah, there's
Can
some
we
real
have
rubbish.
Can we have the outtakes at some point?
There's tons of that.
That would be great.
it is Take Me. It's at Strawdog Theatre, effective next week. And you can see them on stage, hear his music,
right.
and you're going to do another song from
Yeah.
Take Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
We are, or you are.
Surprise!
Do you want to do the head of the pin one?
Sure.
I love looking at your lyrics here, too.
I can't see him because the guitar's in the way.
Want me to hold them up for you?
Should I make that?
Yeah, sure.
I don't see that.
This museum, right?
The weird thing about this is that I don't know how the arrangements go in the
That's all right.
play, so I'm playing something.
Well, we'll
And I have
follow
different. This one has a great line because it says, "It seems a giant insect
yeah,
has
so the
taken your
words have
place
changed.
halfway
Otherwise, I
through."
think
Oh,
the,
that's that old, that
Which
old
I quite-
version.
Those all
I love
changed
that
to
line.
enormity is everything.
It was a great
enormity.
line.
Wait, enormity. Oh my God, of everything.
I love that line, but there's no giant
There's no
insect in the
insect
play
anymore, yeah.
anymore, which I was quite.
That was
I'm
one of
not
the
going.
songs. That is one of the songs that ended up on the cutting room floor. The
I have no
Buzz
use
one.
for this if there's no giant insect. I'm not going to the Strawdog
And there was a
Theatre.
song called Buzz 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 that the giant insect sang as well, and that's gone.
Well, forget it.
Yeah,
I'm
you were
going to go
be
see the
dancing
Avengers
with a
movie
giant
once again.
insect.
What the hell was wrong with the
remember-
giant insect? I loved him. Is this the right key for this one? C?
The universe. I think so.
Let's
We
just-
did end up in C.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
The universe on the head of a pin, dancing through the next to nothing enormity of everything. Here we have no sense of scale. A microbe swallows a great blue whale. We magnify, but there's just more of the same. Are you near to me?
Sorry. I'm reading that, and I didn't get to there. Are we live on the?
Yeah, we're live.
Really? Are people watching this?
You know, there's not a lot of people that are on Facebook.
No one's on
Sorry.
Facebook.
What's it called? Face.
Yeah.
Let's do the chorus. Here we go.
You're keeping it real.
Hey, I haven't rehearsed with them.
Are you near to me?
Or do you just appear to be zooming out and cutting away?
Hey, hey. Distance means nothing. The world is shrinking. You're close, but I can't touch you, darling. Enormity of everything. I was looking down a microscope, saw you tumble down a telescope, and now you're dancing on some other scale. Are you near to me, or do you just appear to be zooming out and cutting away? Hey, hey, now my wedding bells will ring, chiming through the next to nothing enormity of everything. Distance is finite, but it's complicated. You're in my face, but you're so far away. Dancing away, dancing away, dancing away,
Dancing away.
always away, always away.
Dancing away.
That was
Well, that
so
was a
good.
mess.
It wasn't. That was. Good.
It was fun.
Sorry, no, they were great. I don't know what the arrangement.
I like that. That was real. That was
I feel like I'm
authentic.
singing quietly because I'm in a car.
How's our levels?
We don't want.
Levels are fine.
We don't want state police to be attracted to us in any way.
Actually, we do. I think that'd be really
If
interesting.
you got pulled over.
Yeah, that'd be fascinating. These songs are gorgeous, and
Thank you.
all I'm thinking as I'm watching you and listening to you play is, yes, I want to see these songs live on stage.
I do as well.
Take me, but also like I kind of want to hear them recorded too.
There's a possibility of that at the moment. We're talking about trying to do that, but it's just this whole process is kind of amazing. I'm seeing what the actors are going through.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's really intense, and then to sort of pull extra time out to get into a recording studio and do something before the show
My car is
actually
open
goes
to
on.
you all.
We'll just do. We'll get
Whenever
how many
you
people
want.
are in it? About
There's a cast of 9.
9 people.
Do
If
you
we
have like
fit
a
them in?
clown car available?
I'll get the
Gonna
Mazda
need a bigger
CX-9.
car, Chief.
I'll use the bigger car, the Mazda CX-9 from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, proud sponsors of Car Con Carne.
I bet they'd be happy to provide a whole fleet.
A whole fleet. Maybe a Miata for some of the more petite performers. So now that we are dangerously close to the opening night, are you two just nonstop rehearsals, figuring stuff out?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Am I lucky to have you tonight?
Well,
Because
tonight is our night
Or
off.
unlucky.
We had 2 previews over the weekend. We had rehearsals during the day and then previews in the evening. So we pulled a couple of, and then the weekend before that was 22 hours of rehearsal. We did our 10 of 12 and our 12 of 12 for tech rehearsal, which normally you go through all, you synthesize everything, get all the tech together, all the costumes, the lights, the music, the sound, everybody in one room. You go through cue by cue and you do the whole show and get it ready for what it's supposed to look like. And after 22 hours, we had made it through Act 1.
oh my God.
It's a very tech-heavy show.
There's,
Well, I would
12
imagine
projectors
based
in
on the
area,
concept.
Yeah, there's
All
projectors
the
and
walls are
art.
screens.
fog
Yeah.
And
machines.
there's
and
projectors
it's,
coming in from every angle.
we have
it's
absolutely
amazing. but it's-
no business reaching for this apple, but we
Great metaphor.
All
Yeah.
of our company hands outstretched and upward. And,
But it's not low-hanging fruit, is it? It's high-hanging
really-
fruit.
I mean, if you're
Would
going to do
carry
it,
it through.
you know?
Yeah.
So
No,
John,
I get emails every day as well.
I was
telling
going to
me,
ask.
explaining me what's happened every day because I haven't been to all the rehearsals. I've been off on the road touring, and I get these emails that explain, and it's like, the emails. Whoever has to write the emails describing what's happened every day is a genius because it's really intense and it goes over every point.
Is
Well,
that-
that
is
is-
that
The
Jen, the
Jen
stage
probably,
manager, who
yeah.
does that?
Yeah, and
Yeah, we
like,
have a
they're
great
fascinating
manager.
reading, but I'm going, oh God, these poor people. What have we done to them?
Well, as you're reading these and as you're kind of paying attention from afar, are you nervous, like as the creator? This is your baby. What I'm trying to say is, are you worried about them fucking with what you created?
No, I don't. That's the one thing we kind of agreed on early on, that this was. I mean, I was quite happy for people to, with the 2 other plays I've been involved in, both 2 theatre companies, House Theatre and Walkabout Theatre, both did things where they took my songs and made them into something else. And I very early on in the process, I kind of just gave up myself. It's like taking your children out into the woods and saying, "Go on now.
Figure it out.
You're 7 years old. Go run." That's what I did with mine.
Me too. I just went over to Morton Grove, the forest preserve up there.
Yeah, they're still there. They're doing great.
Yeah, mine stayed.
But
They're
you know
feral
what I mean?
now,
It's like that. And I thought with this, I don't really, no, I'm not gonna. That would drive you bonkers. But I
Yeah,
don't
it
even
would.
know. It's a thing that's evolving as well. So I don't really even know.
Which is kind of fun too, right?
Yeah.
You gave them the seed, and now it's growing
Yeah,
into
I mean,
something.
it's an idea and it's a set of ideas and a set of characters, but the story's actually it's changed
It's
considerably.
evolved a lot, even just in the last week. It's changed.
Well, I want to talk about your characters, your roles in the greater scheme of Take Me. You had one more song, is that correct?
Yes. Ready. Oh no, that's
Careful with that
that's
headstock.
Doggy's song. We're not
Oh,
doing
Doggy
Doggy's
song?
song. No, we're not doing Doggy's song. Should we try Mars? I don't know. What do you do with Mars?
I can't reveal.
Do you sing it?
I sing it.
You sing it.
Travis
It's a
sings
Trav
it.
song.
All right,
It's a
but
Travis.
we only do the first verse and the last verse, yeah. Because I think the middle verse that I normally do is just a load of Welshness in it.
A load of
Yeah, but it's
Welshness.
awesome. Do you want to sing? You want to sing it?
Why don't we do a mashup?
Yeah, and then you do your verse.
I have my rewards, and finally I'm patient enough to know the ending isn't far. And I'd do anything to never leave you. Maybe we never get to Mars. Take it away, Travis.
Me and all running round, eyes fixed on the ground. Through the folded ladder runs, I can't believe the things we found.
Oh, I sing the Welsh verse. To the fair down by the wreck, here the oven fluid flows. shallow, mean, and treacherous. Won't let me down there on my own. We're still hungry, we're still thirsty, though we're ripe and fit for bursting. How did we let it go so far? Travis.
A wasp is crawling on my leg, disappears inside my boot. Stars are white and no one knows, forever as a moment flees. We're still waiting for that sting through everywhere and everything. Maybe we never get to Mars.
Ooh, I like doing it like that.
That sounded
Really
really
having
good.
someone else sing it. Because I actually do that one live.
Carmine, I loved your voice on that.
Oh, thank you.
No, he's actually a proper singer.
Actually, a
well.
proper singer. Like, I'm watching him as you're performing, and he's got that effortless thing where those noises, those sounds, those tones just come out of his mouth. He doesn't even look like he's working back
know,
there.
it's
Much
the
to the
opposite-
chagrin of my
opposite
grade
of me.
school teachers.
And then we got your big load of Welshness
I
right there
know.
in the middle, which
They've removed the big load of Welshness in the middle. That's all right. I think that's good.
there's nothing about that sounds okay
you
with
know
me.
what though? I love that lyric, shallow, mean, and treacherous. That's
know.
a cool, cool line, dude.
I went by there as well. It's a tributary of the Usk, and it's called the Avon Fluid. And it looks just like this little thing of water that you could just get in and walk across and have a lovely time and splash about in it. And loads of kids drowned in it when I was a kid. So my parents were really terrified of us going anywhere near it. It's really strange. And I looked at it the other day and said, wow, it doesn't look like anything.
Looks like it draws you in.
Yeah, if you go in there.
All right, why don't you,
Man.
let's hit pause. Let's get your guitar safely tucked away because I want to ask you more questions. I want you to feel comfortable.
Okay.
And
I
maybe
feel like I need to stretch out a bit
right well,
in your Mazda.
after performing in a Mazda, you need to kind of shake it off. So we're going to stop the Facebook Live here, but we're going to continue the podcast, which will be available later this week on carconcarne.com, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and so on. Wherever you get podcasts from, you'll find this one. In the meantime, think ahead starting next week through June 22nd. Take Me is at the Strawdog Theater. They're in it. That is Nicole Bloomsmith. That is Carmine. Grisolia.
Grisolia. Spelled
Nailed
like...
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is Jon Langford.
Juan.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
No,
Carmine,
no,
do you hate me now?
Not at all.
Okay. Because I enjoy you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Take Me at the Strawdog Theater. How cool was this? Oh, yeah.
Super cool.
Sell it. Hell yes. And we'll continue. Thanks for watching. Tell a friend. Go see that at the Strawdog Theater.
No, car's moving.
Car Con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston.
I'm going to bring one every night.
I was specifically looking for beer a couple nights ago. I was like, let's have a beer.
Yeah, you say
After
that
rehearsal.
every night, and then you disappear. You're like the Cheshire Beer
Well,
Mouse.
you gotta catch me in the window. If you-
Cheshire
You get
Beer
5
Man.
minutes
smile
to
and
give
a
me
beer and
I'm
she's
out.
gone.
5 minutes, no beer, bye.
So the funniest thing, and John, I'm going to ask that you talk directly into the mic.
Sorry.
I know. I want to turn around and look at them too, but
What if I do this?
oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, pro.
Hi.
That's a front man right
Is this
there.
your first time in a Mazda?
I think it might be.
First time
I've
sitting
done it-
upright.
I've done it in a Mazda a number of times.
So I'm sitting here waiting for everyone to show up. We're at Wolfie's in Peterson, California. I see the two of them pull up, and they kind of tuck themselves into the corner of the parking lot. Like they're really tentative about the whole thing. They stayed in their car for a while, and I just kind of watched them. Then they nervously walked out toward the restaurant. I'm like,
We're actors.
I'm like, I got to go out and
Meek.
say
They're
something.
Introverts.
And then I'm like, what if they're not actually who I think they are? This is going to be a really awkward conversation. I'm like, hi, are you here for the podcast? I think Carmen said something like, "I'm not really sure what we're in for tonight. We're just told to show up."
When should we tell them that we're not them?
Right.
We're imposters.
Right. Who have impossibly good singing voices for just being plucked at random.
This is Chicago, man.
It
a
is.
lot of
You can
talent.
relate. Grab those guys. Let's see what they can sing.
All right, so for both of you in the back seat, we all kind of know Jon's history as a musician, as an artist. You can see his art as part of Take Me. But can you give me quick backgrounds on both of you and your acting history?
Oh man, I would love to. I feel so awkward talking about myself. I'm a singer-songwriter. I released my debut album last year. It's called Find Me, which is
Take Me.
very close to the
coincidence.
name of the play, but not the name of the play. God, I've been acting forever. I moved to the city about 10 years ago and just kind of never looked back. I just love working in Chicago, the stages in Chicago.
Is it by and large a supportive community?
It's a supportive community. It's a collaborative community.
It's really
you're working with
it's
people that are
amazing.
actually passionate about art and the message or that specific show that what you're trying to say. They're actually really passionate about it. And working with people that want to be generous and supportive on stage as well. That's one of my favorite things about Chicago theater, I think.
Yeah, it's super cool. The community is close, and supportive, collaborative, and it's all about listening, creating safe space for each other to try new things. And
Like this show.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
This is weird because what you're describing is what I felt like when I first moved to Chicago. What
That was
the
my
music
next question.
community was like. It was really like that. I was suddenly pushed into all these different directions and invited to do all these amazing things.
Yeah.
And I was kind of on the brink of, I was like 32 or something, and felt like it was time to retire, and I was probably not going to be in a band anymore. I didn't know what I was going to do, but the community of musicians, and then since then I've got, the couple of other plays I was involved in. I've got to meet a lot of the actors and actresses and directors and tech people in town, and it is a really incredible community.
Yeah. When I started, performing when I was 11 years old or something, probably about 40 years ago, and been doing it basically my whole life. I studied theater in college, but was never. I never considered myself a musician, and I never had any particular training as a musician, but being around this community, and there's a lot of overlap between the musician community and the actor community,
Sure.
and we often collaborate. And every time that I've had the opportunity, every time that I break into that layer of musicians around Chicago, they're always so generous. And I say, well, I don't really know anything about playing whatever. I play a little bit of harmonica or whatever, and they say, well, then let's do this, and they just start jamming and. Next thing you know, everybody's playing together, and
they
they're
get
pushing
overexcited
you.
when they know you can do stuff. too.
Yeah,
Like,
they're so.
As soon as they found out I could play violin, they tried to
enthusiastic.
make me play violin for everything, and I was
Right.
like, guys,
The artist community in Chicago is really like a bunch of puppy dogs. They just want to play.
yeah,
Is pretty much
That's amazing.
all
Yeah,
that it is.
it's more about that than than maybe like that desperate need to
Then who's
succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Like who's
It feels like it's not as competitive as other scenes might be.
So
I mean, I grew up with a punk rock scene in England, and that was kind of harsh.
So again, the elevator pitch: space aliens, a missing son, an amusement park. Sold. What more do you want out of your?
Did anyone mention true story?
Explain that.
based on it, yeah.
It's
right?
based on a true story of someone that Mark Guarino kind of knew of, who had some real tragedies in his life, and then became obsessed with the idea of aliens talking to him, and decided to try and build a theme park to attract the aliens, to make them come
That's
and
right.
land.
Nearly got
And he
it.
started building.
Yeah, nearly got it built too.
And one thing I forgot to ask both of you: the characters you play in Take Me.
I play Shelley.
Shelley plays the guy.
Oh yeah, I do play the guy. It was one of the first things I said to Andy a couple of years ago when he was talking about the play. I was like, "That sounds so cool, but don't you think it should be a woman?"
was it you that changed it?
And since she has
Because
this,
it was a guy when it started.
Yeah,
it was
well-
a guy.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I think it's much better that it's a woman's.
yeah, it's
I mean-
really cool. And so being that we're both company members, like if we had gone with it as a guy in the first place, then probably I would be playing that part, and then I wouldn't be able to play Travis like I'm playing now, which is way better.
Travis is
Sorry,
funny.
your part sucks.
I get to
My
cry
part
a lot.
is
It's
awesome.
fun. It's a blast. I feel great when I get done with the show.
I play
It's
Travis
just
Cooper.
Release all the demons, man.
Intergalactic Space Explorer and 3-time Country Music Award finalist.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. In fact, I heard after there was a Q&A after the couple of previews that we did, and I was told, oh my gosh, there was someone in the Q&A session that said they just thought you were incredible, and he said this lovely thing, and I was like, oh, that's so nice. And then he said, and they said that Carm was their favorite. And I was like, but wait, I was incredible. So how can I not be the fave? It's all
You
good.
are
It's all
my
good.
you're my favorite.
There
You're
it
my
is.
favorite. The voice of an angel. Seriously. Well, as
Both of
as
you, the
exhibited
harmonies
earlier
together. I mean,
tonight.
John,
I
you
love
were
singing
listening to
with
that. I mean, those harmonies were fantastic.
No, it's awesome. And for me to hear my songs sung like that, it's great.
All right, so again, Take Me at the Strawdog Theatre. It opens on the 20th, correct?
We open on the 20th. Anderson Laufer's our director. He was the kind of the visionary behind getting everybody together, I believe, and keeping it going all these years. Trying to think of who else we should.
Well, and the way you're describing this is a
There's
very
a talking
ambitious
dog in
production.
it.
There's a talking
Is
dog.
there a talking
Yeah.
dog? There's
Yeah.
there's talking
Several.
dogs.
We have several talking dogs.
Yeah, I was
going to
say a talking dog. There's like 5 talking dogs.
The beauty
Yeah.
of this show is the way that it really dances around the idea of reality, and what is fantasy, what is reality, where is that line between them, and
And one of my favorite phrases I've gotten as direction is, "This is where you have some manic confidence."
Manic confidence.
Yes.
So we've got-
I love that though.
we've
I
got
was like,
talking
"Wow."
dogs and manic confidence and hallucinations and space
and beautiful music.
and space aliens and space cowboys and
Very beautiful
projectors
visuals.
and
Very,
fog and
amazing
awesome
visuals.
music.
This sounds very ambitious. This sounds very cool. This sounds exciting. I
We're
can't thank
excited.
you enough for jumping in the car and talking about it and
And
performing.
my experience of theatre is they do it, and then it goes on for a few weeks. Then they just tear it all down, and there's no record of it. It's just gone, and it's not. So I really want to get in the studio and record the songs.
Yes, please
And I'm
do.
also
do it.
going to
I'd
film
love
it
to.
on my cell phone as well.
Please do. All right, so
Breaking the law.
everybody, we will see your performance. Cannot wait. This preview tonight's been fantastic. Really excited for this. Thank you for
Thank you so much for having us.
bringing
Yeah,
your
thanks,
talent
James.
into this
In your
little
Mazda.
car. Yes, exactly. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Wolfies.
Thank give me.
Yeah,
Parking
and
lot.
Mazda.
Ironically, we've been sitting in their parking lot for the past hour and we haven't actually got food. Car Con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Thank you for listening.